Welcome to the WTR Healthcare Happenings podcast. I'm your host, Tim Gerdeman, Vice Chair and Co-founder and Chief Marketing Officer of Water Tower Research. In today's podcast episode, I would like to welcome back Jack Liu, Director of Corporate Development at Ainos, NASDAQ ticker symbol AIMD. Also joining us is my Water Tower Research Equity Research colleague, Robert Sassoon. Ainos is an AI-driven company considered to be a pioneer in scent digitization through the development and commercialization of its proprietary AI Nose platform. While Ainos's AI Nose technology was initially developed for healthcare applications, 2025 has seen a significant strategic pivot toward expanding Ainos as a critical smell tech provider in verticals beyond the healthcare sector through the establishment of several strategic partnerships. So with that, let me welcome back Jack and Robert.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Great to be here too.
Jack, as always, welcome back to the podcast. And let's start by asking you to give our listeners key takeaways from the company's recent 3Q25 results, please.
Sure. Thanks, Tim, for having me. So the big picture is we show good momentum for our AI Nose business, resulting in stronger revenues, better gross margins, and leaner operations. So year-to-date revenues were up more than 4x year over year, driven almost entirely by our AI Nose platform for the senior care programs. On the gross margin line, we had a positive turnaround. Our year-to-date gross margins was around 82%. Last year, same period, we were negative gross margins. So that was a very good improvement. On the expense side, for the first 9 months of this year, we reduced our cash-based operating expense by about 15% year on year. So we are now operating much leaner. And also strategically, we're broadening our visibility as a technology company and as a tech stock. For example, we participated two very important exhibitions for automation and semiconductor industry in Asia. On the back of those events, we gained many new business leads for the AI Nose platform, especially in the industrials, automations, robotic markets. We're also now included in a tech consultancy group's annual tech report. I think the benefit of that is this puts us in front of more tech professionals, increasing visibility of our AI Nose as a leading innovative smell technology for the industrial market. Lastly, we've changed our GICS code from biotech to tech. So this better positions ourselves to tech investors and ETF funds. So overall, I would say for the first 3 quarters of this year, we've moved from R&D into commercial execution and setting up strong foundation for 2026. One final note, our year-to-date revenues does not yet include the 2.1 million 3-year subscription orders from our semiconductor customer.
Great, thanks and congratulations on that. I will say anecdotally, putting on my former sell-side equity research and investor relations hats from back in the day, I congratulate you on moving into that new sector. I think that the hybrid comp group that you're going to now be comped against is going to be to your benefit. So with that, I'll turn it over to Robert.
Thanks, Tim. Hi, Jack. Great to see you again.
Great to see you again, Robert.
Okay, Ainos has added to its strategic partnerships in recent months, notably Topco and Nextcom. So brings the total to 6 partnerships that you've established in 2025. So can you run through the rationale for tying up with the latest partners and explain what value they bring to Ainos beyond the partnerships you established earlier in the year?
Absolutely. So adding Topco and Nextcom brings our total 6 industrial partnerships to 6 this year. And each one really strengthens a different part of the AI Nose ecosystem. Some of our partners are potential paying customers, and some are already existing customers that have signed contract with us. And some other partners really just broadens our customer reach across the industrial and technology supply chain. So let me start with Topco. Because we think they really significantly deepens our presence in the semiconductor space. I'll say that because Topco has been serving the semiconductor industry for really more than 35 years now. They practically witnessed the history of Taiwan's chip industry from the very, very early stage. So the bottom line is they're very connected. Topco, as a business, they're essentially a one-stop shop for many of the chip makers. They provide materials, equipments, and service the chip makers rely on every day. And they got operations across Asia and the US. So for us, we can basically trust and very broader market footprint, especially in a chip space. Topco also has a very long-standing relationship with a major silicon wafer supplier in Taiwan, in Japan. So that level of trust and credibility is exactly what we're looking for in a strategic partner for a critical industry like the semiconductor industry. For Ainos, Topco, they will basically promote, sell, install, and support our AI nodes in the chip market while we provide the technology, training, and brand support. Now, if you think about that, roughly 70%, 70% of the global chip capacity is in Asia. So Topco's footprint is extremely valuable to us. Then on the industrial edge AI side, we added Nexcom, which is actually the third NVIDIA ecosystem partner we sign on to add onto our AI nodes network this year. Their industrial PCs, in the layman's term, basically act like a brain inside the modern smart factories. They process the sensor data, they run the AI models, then they coordinate all the automation system. So adding our smell tech as an extra sensing layer really just adds value for them longer term. So integrating our AI nodes with Nexcom's edge AI solution allows AI nodes and our smell language model and the smell ID to really plug into factory automation and predictive maintenance workflows. The takeaway is that our ecosystem is now stronger than ever. Our partners now span from robotics, semiconductor manufacturing, industrial edge AI, and automations.
Oh, thank you for that information. Now, you strengthened your IP mode with an additional 7 new patents in the third quarter of this year. How do these specific new patents strengthen Ainos's IP moat against emerging competitors in the rapidly growing electronic nose market?
Yeah. So adding 7 new patents this quarter, last quarter exactly, was really a meaningful step forward for us. Some of these patents focus on how AI nodes integrates into robotic systems. They cover product designs, internal structures, system configurations, and some of the core operating principles. So that directly supports the work we're doing in robotics and with our Japanese partners, and really strengthens our position as smell becomes a core capacity in the next generation autonomous platforms. So as interest in this Ainos technology accelerate globally, having a deep defensible IP portfolio really gives us a clear competitive advantage and reinforces us as the innovator in the market. Longer term, we'll continue to grow our patent portfolio.
So as we approach the end of 2025, can you talk about your priorities for the rest of the year, and are there any new projects you're working on?
Yeah. So our entire focus now is very execution driven. First of all, we're trying to advance the industrial projects already in motion. So that includes deployments with our semiconductor customers, the pilot program with our robot customer in Japan, etc., etc. So these are all the foundations for our 2026 scale ups. So the last quarter, we announced the AI Nose module, and this product will be the key product for all the industrial project we spoke about. Right now, we're moving quickly to ramp up productions with our manufacturing partners, while dealing with longer lead times in some components. But overall, our guys are now laser focused to deliver our AI Nose modules for our customer deployments and the upcoming pilot projects. Number 2, we're developing new verticals. A new opportunity emerged has been in the hospital operations. Now we think Ainos can help hospitals monitor and track air qualities in wards, operating rooms, and help them detect, say, residuals, leaks, or bad air in, say, bathroom or the piping systems. So when we convert those signals into smell IDs, hospitals will be able to build so-called the scent map to improve the safety and facility management. Right now, we're in discussion with some Taiwanese hospitals. Our goal is to start pilot programs sometime early next year. And then we will work with Topco to support this project. And then beyond healthcare, we're also seeing a strong wave of new leads from additional chip makers and robotic developers. We've been very, very busy this quarter, especially on ramping up production of the Ainos module to support our customers. Again, these are all building a very strong base for next year. So overall, we're excited about how 2026 is shaping up.
Great. So looking forward into 2026, you signaled strong momentum heading into next year's commercial scale-up. Can you share something about the execution roadmap Ainos is planning for next year?
Absolutely. So our number one goal is to drive the so-called smell tech as a service revenues based on these Ainos platform. So next year, our top priority is really just grow the industrial business, which includes the business with our first semiconductor customers. As I mentioned, we now have a initial 2.1 million orders for the Ainos module. But we think this project has a very promising scale potential down the road as we move into multi-site rollouts. Second, the pilot project with our Japanese robot customers. We want to convert those pilots into scalable solutions in manufacturing, infrastructure, facility management sectors within Japan. And then we want to scale the opportunities in the industrial edge AI and factory automation through our partners. Lastly, we want to expand our ecosystem in the US and the Europe. So far, most of our ecosystem partners are in Asia. We built a very strong traction there. But now we want to start look for opportunities in the US and the Europe. We're already in early stage discussion with some companies. I would like to take this opportunity. If there are partners, companies in robotics, drone, automation, or AI listening to this podcast, we're very welcome the opportunity to connect and explore collaborations. In the healthcare space, we'll continue to work with our senior care customers, and we'll continue our women's health clinical studies. And also we'll look to grow the new opportunities in the hospital operations I just mentioned. So bottom line is the goal is to turn partnerships into revenues. We feel that this market, based on multiple industry forecasts, suggests that Ainos market will grow in the CAGR range of anywhere from 12 to 18% over the next decade. And industrial is really the biggest market. So we feel that we're in the right market and the right sectors. We also feel very strongly about how smell using our Ainos can become a new token for AI. And also we feel we're in the very good position to capture this new AI category. On the final thought. So while our stock price has seen increased volatility in the near term, operationally, we're really building up strong foundation for scale up. And therefore, we're very excited about our momentum going into next year.
Well, that sounds all very exciting, and thank you, Jack, for keeping us apprised of the latest developments at Ainos and what to look forward to. So I'll pass it back to Tim.
Thanks, Robert. Jack and Robert, thanks for joining me today. Jack, I'm going to do my digression of the day, which is that I feel blessed to do dozens of these with executives from all kinds of companies. Rarely do I find myself talking about the company at dinner after a podcast, but the last time I had you on, my imagination ran wild because the total addressable market for this technology strikes me to be very, very vast as you start to kind of uncover new opportunities. So I wish you the best going into 2026. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to subscribe, as well as visiting www.watertowerresearch.com to stay up to speed on the company's small cap written research reports, podcasts, fireside chats, industry-specific symposiums, and conference schedules. We will see you next time for another edition of the WTR Healthcare Happenings podcast. Finally, a special thanks to the producer and editor of the podcast, Krista Fitzpatrick.